Welcome to Big Bear Adventures. Today we're going to be explaining our floaty setup. We're at Clovelly Beach. We're about to head out and go and shoot some fish. So we thought we'd just take the time to show you our float setup. As you can see, we've used two pieces of a boogie board set up in an outrigger fashion, and then obviously sprayed it orange for visibility. I've got a Cuban yo-yo mounted on the front bumper, which we've wrapped the anchor line around. That anchor line is essentially a float line that we're using for the anchor. You can either tie it off against some kelp and set it aside as a standalone float, or you can use a kayak anchor. On the underneath, we've built up the float coefficient by adding two pool noodles to support the buoyancy, and then it was tucked underneath the stabilizer for the pontoons on the boogie board. In the front here, we've got a clip, so clip the anchor line into that so that it doesn't unwind off the Cuban yo-yo. I've added two clip-in points for gun lines so that we can use the float as a gun float as well. As you can see here, my line winder for my own gun, I'll just clip it in there because for the most part I'm using the float as a gun float. I'll then run out some line, attach my gun to it, and then use that as my gun float. We've got a cargo net on the top. We'll show you a little later as we pack into the float what we are going to be taking with us. But essentially that just keeps the stuff inside the crate that we've put between the two bumpers. As you can see there, I'm indicating the bumpers that hold the crate in. And there's a little mast in the front. We'll show you a bit later as we install the diver down flag, which I had custom made. So that's our fish stringer. Essentially what we do is we shoot fish, we'll then hook it on the stringer, pop it into the crate so that we are essentially not making ourselves available for being approached by seals who will often steal fish off floats if they're hanging in the water from spearfishermen. They do associate us with free food, so we just like to minimize our interaction with the seals and keep both of us safe. You can see here I'm showing you the back now. I've put pool noodles over that back stay so that it doesn't chafe your wetsuit. Essentially it's not a swim out float like most people use. This is a cargo float. We carry our stuff out into the water with us, and if we have any harvest we can put it in the crate. But if you do want to sort of step up onto the float, you can rest yourself on that little back bumper there without chafing your wetsuit unnecessarily. We're going to go through with what we're taking on to go out with. These are my Robitech fins. I will insert them from the back through underneath the net just to hold them down. Sinjin's fins obviously won't fit in like that because of the nature of he is using the Scuba Pros there, but we just insert from the side and that holds it down very nicely, and also out of the way it affords him to be able to take out his fins without having to unravel the whole exercise. So you can see that I'll just put it in underneath the top net. Going forward, we've got the diver down flag, which is obviously very important to mark your position so that other recreational water users are aware of the fact that there are spearfishermen in the water. Limits our interaction, keeping both of us safe. That one I had made out of some waterproof material. At work, my seamstress made that up for me. I've added a little stainless steel stringer through the middle just to stiffen the flag so that it doesn't flop flat. It's always in the erected position so you can have a good visibility of that. The little bit of a mast that we have put on it also lifts it up off the water so you can see it from distance as well. Improves the visibility, like I say, keeping ourselves that are in the water and the other recreational water users, whether it be motorboats or kayakers or whatever, keeps our interaction down so that both of us are safe. So yeah, we're going to explain our equipment that we're using. Sinjin is running a Rob Allen 700 cobia. He has got the GoPro mount on that as well. It's also the Rob Allen specialist GoPro mount so that he can get gun cam footage of that. Our spear guns are mounted on the side of the float. We extended those side rails in order that using a gun bungee, as you see there, we just bungee those onto the float, and it allows us to be able to take out the spear guns with us without having to have them in hand. My gun is a Robitech. It started off as a Robitech Attack, but unfortunately, what happened is my handle broke. 15 years of service, it eventually died. So I had it replaced, but I replaced it with a Stealth Pro handle. So it's a bit of a hybrid gun. The stainless steel mechanism in the Stealth Pro is really smooth, and I'm really enjoying it. So still Robitech, but kind of a hybrid gun. I'm running 2 bands on I think it's a 7.5mm spear, and it's giving me good reach. The dynamo on my gun also is nice and soft, so I don't have a lot of issues there. My gun goes on the other side, and this gets bungeed in, same as Sinzan's does. Just allows us to be able to get out without having to have a lot of gear in our hands. This is our flasher unit. We watched the tutorial about Coatsman spearing a while back and decided that we wanted to add a float to our flasher so we could use it independently. This just gets into the little back cubby hole there. Fortunately, you can't really see me tucking it in there, but there's a little space between that back bumper that we saw previously and the flasher unit fits in there. Since it's running my 15-year-old Robitech gun float, solid, strong, solid foam floats, really great. And as you can see, we like to use those line winders. It just helps with the line management, especially in amongst the kelp. You don't want to run out 30 meters of line. You just get really tangled up in between the kelp fronds and stuff like that. So it just helps to be able to take off just as much line as you need for that moment. And you can adjust it as the water gets a bit deeper. And that just goes straight on top. It just floats out. When we get out there, he just pulls it off, clips it onto his gun, floats it out the back, and then we'll proceed with getting the rest of the gear off. So yeah, thanks for joining us. We're going to go out now and spearfish in Clovelly.